Lisa here. Welcome back to my channel and welcome to my February show and tell. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm not gonna do the thing where I say, well, I'm doing it. I'm doing the thing. I'm saying that I have a big pile of stuff in front of me, but I swear I'm not exaggerating. I'm never exaggerating. These videos are always a million hours long, so just know that coming in. I mean, you can see by the little time thingy that's here. No, here. It's over here. You'll see how long this video is gonna be. I'm just warning you now because I'm chatty and I always talk a lot in these videos, and this is just how it's gonna be. So grab yourself a really nice hot steamy beverage or a nice cold icy beverage and like a blanket or like a cuddly stuffed animal and like just curl up somewhere cozy, you know, pour yourself a bubble bath, do whatever you need to do to settle in because we are going to be here for like a little while. But I have a lot of things. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My monthly show and tell video is one of my favorites to make, and it's when I talk about all the things I've been loving, enjoying, experiencing, sometimes, you know, life stuff, a little bit of memories, and magic and books and decks and makeup because I can't help myself, and all the other things. But I've crowded myself out on the table here, so I have no space. No space. But anyways, welcome. We're gonna get into it. I have lots of categories I like to cover, but let's start off with memories because if I don't, I'm going to forget. So the first thing I want to do is have a little chat about my no-buy. So first of all, it's a disaster. It's not entirely. I've definitely been a lot more mindful, but I want to do a little check-in because I feel like that kind of fits in the memory section, and I also want some accountability, and I also want to just be honest about how I'm experiencing my own no-buy rules. So if you are, if you haven't seen my video where I talked about all of my January planning stuff and my goals and my no-buy rules, I'll link that video for you. But these were my 2022 no-buy rules. There's quite a few of them. And the first thing that it turns out that is just not working is my Tarot and Oracle deck no-buy. Now, I want to be clear. I called it a no-buy because I thought it sounded fun. I knew it wasn't strictly a no-buy. It's more like a low-buy-ish. With which I'm even still, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. I've done this to myself multiple years over. You can, I'll try to remember to link these, but you can see my attempt at a depth year. You can see my attempt at other types of restriction around my tarot. It just never goes well, you guys. But I will say, I am pleased with the fact that I've been a lot more thoughtful and a lot more mindful, given that it's only February, about how I am spending money on decks because I'm trying. Let's just leave it there. So little accountability. So my original rule, just to kind of get us all on the same page, was that I was only going to purchase decks or Kickstarters after I've done a say yes to the deck video process. And then I was going to allow myself 3 impulse buys for the year. Now, impulse buys I still talk over with Peggy, so they're not quite fully impulse. And I've done a really good job of running everything by Peggy. And if you guys know Peggy, she's amazing at making sure I don't just like willy-nilly go crazy with the purchasing. She's really good at talking me down. She's really good at talking everybody down. She wrote an entire article and blog about it, which I will link down below, that has a full like printable guide and worksheets. You can go through the whole thing with her that I have to go through pretty much every time I want to buy a deck. So that part has been very successful. But the part where I like limit myself, not so much. Peggy can limit me, sure, but me limiting me, I don't know why I thought this was a good idea. And in fact, Peggy and I were chatting. I know it was on a video. I just can't remember which one. It might have been no, it was. It was in a Self-Worth Saturday video that we do for the Unicorn Fam channel membership. We do these monthly self-worth chats. And we had one about goal setting in January, where I fully admitted where I've landed with all of this. And she kind of pointed out to me that like, probably I didn't set the right goal for myself because realistically, I know I'm going to want to be purchasing Tarot and Oracle decks. I have an entire YouTube channel about Tarot and Oracle. I like trying new decks and reviewing new decks and experimenting with decks. And like, that's the whole thing that I do. But she said it probably would have been smarter to, she didn't say it that way. That's how I'm saying it in my head, like and to you out loud after. But she basically said, you know, maybe a budget or at least, you know, different ways to be mindful. So what's kind of replaced that is checking it with her before I buy and be like, does this make sense? Like, am I making a good decision kind of thing? And we can talk about it and she can kind of, you know, help me bounce things around and figure out if it makes sense. That's been effective, but accountability. So in January, I did buy decks 5 times. No, decks and or books, because I had a book no buy too, which turned out to be a colossal fail as well. I said I was going to buy no books. That definitely a fail, and I'll explain because I've been studying different things, but definitely bought some books. Have not bought any fiction books, done real good there, but I've definitely bought books. So 5 times I bought stuff that technically broke my no-buy. I bought 3 books on Enneagrams. I bought backed one deck on Kickstarter. That was technically, we could have counted that as like one of my 3 impulse buys I set for the year, but we're just forgetting about that goal for now. I'm just accountability. Backed 1 deck on Kickstarter, and bought some digital download stuff, which I said I could. That was allowed. Then in February, I ran out of space in my how I spent section here where I had to add a sticky note because I ran out of room. But in February, let's see, I bought 1, 2, 3. You know what? This is silly. I bought like 6 books, all related to study, and I bought like, you know, 6 or 6-ish decks. You know what? It's fine. It's fine. I'm kind of trying to be kind to myself and remember that like this is what I do. Like it's a thing that I do. Like whatever. We're leaving that behind. But I've been real good about everything else. What were my others? Let's talk about my successes now that I've talked about the abysmal failure of the deck limiting, which I can just hear already. I can hear Dustin laughing at me because he's like, "What are you doing?" Every time I try to do this, he's like, "Lisa, what are you doing?" He said it when I did my depth year. Anyways, we'll see when he watches this video. If he watches this video, maybe he won't, and then I'll be off the hook. He'll find out eventually. We talk all the time. Okay, anyway. So books fail, decks fail, but makeup and nail polish, success. Fountain pen and ink, success. TNs and folios and that sort of thing, success. Bath and body care, success. Art supplies, success. Candles, crystals, and witchy supplies, success. Electronics, yes. Electronic games and apps, I broke this once for another musical game for my Oculus Quest, which I really need to break out because I haven't been breaking it out lately, but technically broke it for that. Also stationery, office supplies, success. Games, success. So no more board games or card games, and no more mugs and decor. So all those other categories, I'm doing great. I don't need anything in those categories. I'm not really tempted by those categories as much, although makeup might be a challenge. We'll see later this year, because usually there's a period throughout the year when I'm like, I need some new makeup, but I really don't. So anyway, I wanted to do some accountability. I don't know why, I just felt like it, and so that I could circle back and let you guys know how it's going, which is basically not well in the decks and books category, but great everywhere else. So there's that. Let's talk about other things that happened in February. So I mentioned the article that Peggy wrote, the digital guide to say yes to the deck. That came out in February, which was super exciting, as part of her starting a blog on my website, which I know I've mentioned on the channel, but in case you haven't seen it, it's on my website. It's called Peggy's Pondering. She's written a few articles already, and she started a series called Noob Reviews, where some of the decks that I do walkthroughs of, she will give her perspective on from, you know, her self-identified position as like a super noob or a forever noob or whatever you want to call her when it comes to tarot. She'll be looking at that same deck through beginner's eyes and sharing her thoughts with you guys about that. So she's already done one on the Lucid Dreams Beginner's Tarot, and there's one coming up on a walkthrough I have coming up, I think this weekend, soon. So keep an eye out. I will always mention it in the video description box if she's done a corresponding blog article, but there is a few up there right now, including that digital say yes to the deck guide, which is super cool and is real fun. So if you want to have somebody else talk you down from your own deck purchasing type things, she's real good at that. So go check it out. That happened in February. That was really fun. Is that it? That's all I wrote down. February was kind of like a busy month, and I feel like I was busy with like work and like, you know, home stuff, but like I don't feel like there was a whole lot of really big events. I'm trying to think. Was there anything? At the time I'm filming this, it hasn't technically happened yet, but our eldest's birthday is on leap year technically. So he will be, the time is weird when you're filming a couple days in advance, but he will be turning, oh my gosh. Hold on. Is John gonna be 30?
Yeah. 30th.
I thought so. Yeah, he's gonna be 30.
Monday.
Yeah, he's gonna be 30. So I don't feel old at all. No. I mean, mind you, I'm the stepmom, so like, you know, I mean, I technically, could I have given birth? No. Peggy's older than me, y'all, so like, it's fine. She's old. I'm fine. fine. Okay, so let's move on. I have a few fun YouTube things to talk about. The first of which is I discovered a new channel, because the channel is new, called Adventures in Metaphysics. You guys go check that out. I will have a link to everything I talk about in this video that's linkable in the description box down below, but go check out Adventures in Metaphysics. Their channel is so fun. I think I've watched every single video that they've put out so far. And funny thing is, I had this on my list, and then they went and did a VR to my Mass Market Madness series and shared a bunch of mass market decks. Just go check it out. It's super fun. That channel looks like it's off to a screaming start. They're doing a bunch of fun VRs. It's two girls there that are working, they kind of each do videos, and it's super fun. Go check it out. The other thing that I discovered in February, and this is related to my studies, is not sure how to pronounce the name, Beata Tarot Tutorials. So Beata's channel, I think it's also relatively new, but she's creating these dedicated videos in 2 languages, mind you, for every card of the Thoth Tarot. And I'm really, really enjoying her take on it. She's very succinct, but she's clear, and I feel like the takeaways are really good. It just seems to be really well constructed videos, and I'm really excited about it. I've tried to look up pretty much every card I can that is currently out. I think she's through the Wands, I shouldn't be trying to quote this. She's got a bunch. She's got a bunch of Thoth tarot videos up. Really, really enjoying her channel. And of course, you guys know that 3 Fat Readers collab videos are always my very, very fave, because of course they're us. They're me, Danny Mystic, and Dustin of Modern Metaphysicae. We get together, we have a chat, and we did 2 in February. So we did one in early February on our tarot hopes and wishes for 2022, and then we did another one on fandom decks. So check those out. I will have both of those videos also linked, but 3 Fat Reader stuff is always a favorite, and that collab channel is one of my bright and happy places on YouTube. Love it so much, and if you're not subscribed, go check it out. Go subscribe. We do live streams typically about once a month, and it's like we're all hanging out together just talking about tarot stuff. It's super fun. I think that's it for YouTube-y things. Let's talk magic. So I have one item specifically that I want to sort of shout out. So in February, I kind of reconnected with this tower. Hello? Focus please, camera. There we go. So this is I believe, ruby in, oh gosh, I always get this mixed up. Ruby and fuchsite. So one of my favorite crystals is actually ruby and kyanite. I'm going to just show you the difference here. So I could be getting this wrong. If I am, I'm sorry. It's been a long time since I picked up. This is one of my favorites. This is ruby and kyanite. No, this is ruby and fuchsite. Oh my gosh, I'm so terrible. So this is a pendulum I have that's ruby and fuchsite. I also have another piece of this, and I have a raw slice of this. And I love this. They call it Heartstone. That's one of the names for it. Super lovely stone. But this one is ruby in kyanite. I love having it on my table when I'm doing client readings. It literally feels like a satellite dish for sort of drawing down, or I guess helping me connect to that part of myself. I love that about this. It's a great piece. That's been hanging out with me at my reading table, and I've been really enjoying and appreciating it. That brings me to the body and beauty category, better known as when Lisa talks about makeup and nail polish. So if you are super bored by this stuff, feel free to just, skip ahead. I have timestamps for everything down below, or you can use the little chapter things, whatever your heart desires, because I totally get it. This is not everyone's cup of tea. But I love sharing the nail polishes I've been wearing, and it makes sense because I get lots of comments on my you guys, I get lots of comments on my nail polish. I do. I get a lot of people asking me what shades I'm wearing. I have a relatively curated nail polish collection, but some of the shades I have worn this month and really enjoyed. This one is called Kate, and Zoya is probably my #1 favorite nail polish brand. So this is Kate by Zoya. I'm almost always talking about a Zoya polish in this section. This one is such a fun color to me. It reminds me of like faded blue jeans, or kind of like acid wash blue jeans. Is that still that's not still a thing? Y'all, that was like the 80s or 90s. I don't know. This is Lou by Zoya. And I actually spend an extra $1 or $2 and I get the brush. It's called the Z Wide brush. They sell it separately for like $1.50. But I get their Z Wide brush. I'm gonna see if I can do this without getting nail polish all over everything. Can I do that and have you see? I don't know. Maybe not. I'll try to put a picture up on the screen of it, but it's a really wide nail brush, which means that it kind of like is the perfect shape for my nails, and it makes doing my nails faster and easier. I love that brush. I don't like the skinny little round brushes. They drive me crazy. And I fell in love with this brush, actually, with this brand of polish which was hideously expensive, but I will probably use every drop. This is what I'm wearing right now. If I had to pick one single favorite nail polish of all time, this would be the one. This is, and you can still get it somewhere. Somebody gave me a link, and I was really good. I didn't buy any, but I was real tempted. This is Guerlain. Is that how you say it? And this is their, oh gosh, what did they call this? Petite Robe Noir or something like that. It was like a long name. And this is a limited edition color. A lot of their colors were limited, called Lilac Belt. So I don't think you can buy this shade anymore, but it is like my perfect, look at that. It's like my perfect like pinky purple shade. I love it so much. This is like my favorite color. In a crayon box, it would be Orchid. That was my favorite crayon when I was little. So yeah, love this color. But you can tell, like, it's like, first of all, you have this like little silly plastic thing that comes off. And then it is the shortest. Like, here's a Zoya polish. Look at this. Look at how little polish you get in that compared to this. And this was pricey. So if I need to find a dupe for this color for when this runs out, preferably in Zoya. So that's a thing. But I love it, and I'm going to keep using it until I can't use it anymore. But I'm pretty sure I've used like at least half of this amount. I'm pretty sure I've used like half of this. It's pretty though, and I love it. Okay. Also, when Becca Cosmetics was going out of business, I don't know what the right term is for it, but they were stopping. They were not going to be creating makeup anymore. Now they have some of their makeup products through Makeup Forever or through another line. Their highlighters or something still exist, but they have a lipstick line called Ultimate Lipstick Love. And when they were going to stop making makeup, these all went on sale for like crazy cheap comparatively to what they used to be. And the formula of these, based on all the reviews I had watched, was going to be very similar to the Tom Ford lipsticks, which I really love. I only ever bought one. They're hideously expensive. I used the entire thing up. But I was trying not to buy more of those, but I really liked the really nourishing, like, moisturizing formula. Anyways, this is a lot of makeup talk, you guys. I'm sorry. But I did get 7 of these Becca Lipstick Loves in a variety of colors that I knew would work for me. This was the red that I picked out, and I love it so much. So this is the red that I wore, I want to say, well, the last time you would have seen this, the time in February you would have seen me with red lips, it would have been this shade, and it's called Tangy, and it is like a really nice, like, neutral red. It says that it is warm toned. I would argue that it's like neutral warm. Like, if it's warm, it's neutral warm. Because I usually prefer cool toned reds. So this isn't a really orangey red. It's like a true red. It's just not so blue. I'm not a makeup guru or anything, but I love this red, and it's my favorite like bullet lipstick red. Outside of, I have a matte one called Erasabeth, which I've talked about before, but this is like not matte, and I love it, and it's comfy, and it, like, yeah, I like it. Okay, and then 2 eyeshadow palettes I had a lot of fun playing with this last month because February. My Pat McGrath Divine Rose 2. This is what the colors look like. I had a lot of fun doing kind of like a hot pink eyeshadow look in, I think for the 3 Fat Readers we did earlier this month is when I wore this one, and it was super fun. And the other eyeshadow palette that I had a lot of fun with this month is this Rose Quartz. I love this palette so much. It's so unique and so pretty. It's my only Huda eyeshadow palette I've ever purchased. And I love it. The finishes in here are so unique. Like, some of these shades, like this one, oh my gosh, you can't even tell on the camera. I have to swatch things. I just can't. They're so pretty and, like, unique. I'm just going to stick my fingers in the really, like, funky shades because I have to. They're so creamy. Oh, do not get eyeshadow all over everything, Lisa. But I'm just going to show you these 3 shades. First of all, look at how, like, gorgeous those are. They're so, like, multi-dimensional and so pretty. I'm pretty sure I put like 2 of the 3 of these on my eyes. I did pick up way too much, but they're like really, like I said, they're really dimensional and, like, I don't know, but they're also not so, like, they've got like tons of like shine and, like, oh my god, they're so pretty. They're so much fun, but they're also like, they're not so bold that they're like completely unwearable. So now I have eyeshadow on my hands. Like, that makes me happy. I'm such a dork. You guys, in another life, I swear I was like a pretend makeup YouTuber. I swear. So much fun. Makeup YouTube's the other thing I watch all the time. You guys probably know that already, but anyways, that's it for makeup and nail polish and stuff, so we can move on now TV and movies, I have literally nothing in this category this month. I didn't watch anything, I don't think, at all in February. Other than YouTube, I guess. I did watch RuPaul's Drag Race. That's sort of a comfort show when I want to put something on while I'm cooking or something. That's it. So yeah, nothing much to report there. Food, I did have a day when I was feeling really crappy and I went to the store to get some chicken noodle soup because like Campbell's old school, like they have this new home style kind. No, I want the kind with like the long like slippery noodles. How else to describe it? Old school chicken noodle soup, Campbell's chicken noodle soup. That's what I wanted. And I went there to get some old school Campbell's chicken noodle soup, which I did find and was delicious. But then I walked down the like snack cake aisle, like, you know, that section with all the like, you know, Twinkies and stuff. And y'all know I have a weakness for Twinkies, but that's something else. I didn't get any of those because they had limited edition Hostess unicorn cupcakes. I'll put a picture somewhere up so you can see. They were incredible. They were really crappy. But they were purple, like lavender with like little pink icing, and it cheered me up. It was good. I would never like buy them for the flavor. Like I literally bought them because they were unicorn. Because they were unicorn cupcakes. And because I was pretty convinced they were going to be crappy, I also got some chocolate cupcakes. So I've got them stashed at work, and I've had like only about, like it comes with like, oh, and I hate this, by the way. Is this the case in the States? In Canada, you get cupcakes and they come 2 to a pack, but I only want 1 at a time. So like I have to open a pack, have one, and like wrap the package back up and like put it away. Why can't they just come individually wrapped? Like, okay, well, single-use plastics and better for the environment. I guess I should have thought about that. I wasn't thinking about that. Thanks for pointing that out. Whoever just said that out loud in their head, I understand now. But like also, what about paper something? I don't want 2 cupcakes at a time. Is that so much to ask? Anyway, I'm babbly. Welcome to this video. This is the only video I'm filming today, and clearly I'm giving it my all. So I'm sorry, and you're welcome, I guess. Are we already at books? Yo, oh no, we've got randoms first. Okay, I meant to talk about this in January, and I forgot. The cover aside, we need to talk. So I referenced my planning video earlier in this video, you know, the one where I talked about my plans and I went through my planner setup. This is my everyday carry. This is a favorite thing forever and ever and ever. And this year, I thought I was going to have 2 Hobonichi weeks. So this is a Hobonichi weeks in a Moterm cover. I started the year with this in a black cover, but then at In Bulk, I changed out to a spring summer color. And then I'm going to change back to fall winter at Maven. But anyways, point being, I love this thing so much. It's got all these lovely pockets, but I told myself I was going to have 2 Hobonichi weeks in 2022. I was going to have one be a self-care weeks, and I even showed you all these pages I decorated and set up to have a gratitude log. Well, I didn't like carrying 2 Hobonichi weeks. So everything that I had put in the self-care weeks, I migrated over into this week's, which means I had to create gratitude calendar pages, which I've done for the entire year, and put them over here, which by the way, they came out super cute. So like there's my, which one that's my March one. This is my, I got to use all my stickers. So I did some similar themes, but I had lots of fun with washi creating these calendar pages. And so I do a gratitude note in each one of these boxes every single day. So this was going to be in my self-care weeks, but I ended up putting it over here into my everyday carry because I just decided I cannot handle having more than one. I just really I love having like all the little pancakes and stuff. What did I do for December? Oh yes, I did this really pretty like moons and anyway, I had a lot of fun like decorating all the pages again. I gotta admit. But I just like having everything in one book. So I have like all these great tabs in here for all these like different things that I keep track of. I do YouTube planning in here. I do life planning in here. I do habit tracking. I keep track of the decks that are coming in, my favorites. I keep track of happy mail and money I spent in budgets, and just everything is in here. It's amazing. But having 2 did not work out. So like I said, anything that I had in my separate weeks got migrated in here. So that's your planner update. But this is like a forever favorite, honestly. This goes with me everywhere, like even everywhere in the house with me. If I'm in the like reading table area, it's here. If I am in the living room, it's there. If I'm at work, it's there. It does not matter. The only place this doesn't go with me is like errands, because I have a little mini wallet with some notebook places where I can put notes that I carry with me because this is too big to like carry to stores. Like for me it is. I'm a micro wallet person. But anyway, you guys, I'm so babbly. I'm so bubbly. But anyways, this is a forever favorite. That was the point. Also, I have eyeshadow on my hand and it's still making me really happy. I'm such a nerd. It's so shiny. Okay. Calm down, Lisa. Other random things, random favorites. Look what Peggy made me. Now, I want to be clear. I spotted this fabric and was like, you need to buy this fabric and then you need to make things out of this fabric and put it up on your Etsy shop, which she did. And smart butch that she is, she made 4 of these reading cloths, 3 of which she put in her shop and 1 of which she set aside for me because she is smart butch, smart butch. But look, isn't it a beautiness? So this is a reading cloth, but it is, look at, I don't know if the light's going to catch, but it has these like, it's unicorns, look at, in this like really pretty forest. And there's all these like metallic kind of accents. It is so pretty. It's so pretty. It's like, is there metallic? Did I just make that up? Oh yeah, there is. There's like little copper like leaves and things. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. Point is, it's real pretty, and she made one for me, so I'm really excited about this. It's really, really beautiful. Y'all, I know it's gonna be a long video when I haven't even made it to decks and books, and we're already over 30 minutes. So hopefully I can edit some of that down. Probably not, because apparently I like leaving my babbliness in for you. Hope you like it too. Let's talk about books. I have a lot of books to talk about. So the first, Sigil Witchery. So this was the Unicorn Fam channel member. We do a book club in there for all members of my channel, and it was voted on to do Sigil Witchery for our January, February book. We're alternating like nonfiction and fiction. So I finished this. Verdict. I love that this got me thinking about sigils, and as part of doing this, one of our Unicorn Fam members brought up the idea of using Canva, which is like a web-based photo editor type tool to create sigils, and that exploded my sigil crafting world, and that was a super cool takeaway from working with this book. But I have to say, I didn't enjoy this book all that much. I felt like it was written for somebody who wants to do sigils in a particular way. I think there's a lot of useful stuff in here, but a lot of the exercises just didn't really resonate with me personally. There was a section near the back, which we did do as a group, where there are these like scenarios where, you know, you have maybe somebody who is in a distracted office environment and they want a sigil to ward off the distractible people in their office. So you create a sigil for that environment. So it invites you to kind of come up with something for that scenario. And that was super fun. And it was fun to share some of those sigils in the Supportive Tarot group. And it was fun to share them with the other Unicorn Fan members. And that was probably my favorite part of the entire book, was doing those exercises and kind of thinking outside the box of how I would create sigils for these different situations. But other than that, I have to say there wasn't really a lot I took away from this. There was a lot about exploring basic shapes and kind of coming up with a bit of a library for yourself of what different symbols mean for your sigil crafting, but that's not the way that I make sigils. So that part of it didn't really resonate with me, because a star might mean one thing to me one day for one sigil and something different to me on a different day for a different sigil. So coming up with like fixed associations for different shapes or symbols didn't really make sense to me personally. I'm sure there's lots of people that would work for it. It just wasn't my shtick. But the coolest takeaway from this whole experience, other than just it was fun to play with sigils with the Unicorn Fam, was that we created live. So we have a live book club wrap-up discussion in the Unicorn Fam. We had that discussion just a couple weeks ago, and it's a live stream where we just kind of all talk about our impressions of the book, and we were doing that live stream. And then it kind of came up during that we should create a sigil for the membership. So that was a really fun thing. We just did it on the fly. We kind of worked together. We came up with some symbols that really symbolized the keywords and the feeling we want for the Unicorn Fan membership. And we came up with a sigil. It was super fun. So we now have a custom emoji for our Unicorn Fam membership created based on the sigil that we created together. It was just really, really fun. So that was a cool takeaway. But the book itself, honestly, I could take it or leave it. I don't know that if you're interested in sigils and you don't have a starting point, I think it's something good to get started. But I already had an idea of what sigils were to me, and I think I came into it with a lot of preconceived ideas that it didn't jive with. So that's like personal preference kind of stuff. But still had fun going through it for book club. Okay. I'm going to talk fiction, and then we're going to go down this like very big nonfiction rabbit hole. So I did read 2 fiction books in February. I read book 2. Actually, I reread A Curse So Dark and Lonely last month. And then I read book 2 of that series, which is called A Heart So Fierce and Broken, and book 3, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I freaking love this entire series. I have no complaints. I will reread these books again and again. I love the characters. I love the storyline. I loved the twists. I have so much love in my heart for this 3-book series. I'm so glad I have all 3 in hardback. I'm going to keep them. I'm going to read them again and again. Highly recommend. If you read A Curse So Dark and Lonely and you've been wondering about these, I really enjoyed both of them. But I would recommend doing what I did and rereading A Curse So Dark and Lonely first, just so you're going into it fresh. But I really enjoyed these. Okay, let's talk about some nonfiction. So I did download an Enneagram book called, I wrote it down, hold on. I downloaded it for my Kindle, the Enneagram Guide to Waking Up. And I read that through. It was a really good sort of primer introduction, I think, to the Enneagram and the various types on the Enneagram thingy. It's a technical term. So that was fun to read. And then I picked up a different book. It's over there, but I haven't read it yet, so I'm not going to talk about it. But I did pick up a second Enneagram book, but then I started dipping into the Thoth Tarot and studying the Thoth. So we're going to be talking about that. I may have bought 5-ish books, actually technically 6, for the Thoth Tarot, which I was not expecting. You guys, I have had Lon Milo DuQuette's book, Understanding the Thoth Tarot, for like a while now, and I've had the large version of the Thoth Tarot, which I can't reach, but we might as well talk about that too. I'll have that handy anyway. So this book, I bought it, and then I kind of cracked it and started to look at it like a while ago, and I was like, no, this is too much. It's too esoteric. It's too much. I just don't wanna. I dragged my feet. I was like, I'm not excited about the Thoth. I don't really want to learn it someday. And then I was having a conversation with Marlena. I'm still learning how to say her name correctly. She's a Unicorn fan member, and we were chatting a bit about the Thoth, and she was kind of giving me a very gentle nudge. Like, have you studied it yet? Like, just excitedly being curious. And I was like, no, and I don't know, maybe. I was all ambivalent. And then I picked this up, and I started to kind of read it. And I was like, oh wait, this actually, hold on. Like, this isn't so bad. And I started to read it, and I was like, okay. But then I kind of put it away again. And then I started working with the Thoth. And once I started working with the Thoth, now this thing it's demolished, y'all. I'm literally like sitting here. I mean, don't gasp, you guys. But I mean, I haven't done this to a book in, I don't know how long. But this book I have broken the spine in like 17 places. I have dog-eared. I have written on it. I'm having like a whole moment with this book. I've destroyed it. And it feels fantastic. I haven't done that or been excited to do that with a book in a long time. Now, I will say, even though I have demolished this book because it's my only print book about the Thoth, I will say it's not my favorite book about the Thoth. Actually, I ended up getting for my Kindle Marcus Catt's Secrets of the Thoth Tarot, the first, second, and third volumes. I got all 3. The first volume covers the major arcana, the second volume covers the minor arcana, and the third volume covers the court cards. Now, the reason that I got all 3 is because I picked up the first one and I started using it to reference. I'm going to show you what I do because I think it's relevant. So I'll open up Secrets of the Thoth on my Kindle, and you can do this on your phone too. I've been doing this on my phone mostly because I always have my phone on me. So if I pull a Thoth card, I can just look it up. So what I like about this is I can click the table of contents and I can literally just scroll through for whatever card I'm looking up. So let's say I want to read about the universe, key 21. It takes me right there. And then I can also highlight text and save the highlights for later. I have been really enjoying working with those books specifically on my Kindle. Typically for nonfiction and for study books, I go paper. But it's been really handy to have all 3 of these Marcus Catt's books handy while I've been working with the Thoth. And I have to say, Marcus Catt's writing style and the way that he explores each individual card in the Thoth has been mind-blowing and really, really awesome. DuQuette does explore each individual card, but not at all in the depth I was expecting. So, for example, here's what you get on the Prince of Swords. And it's more of a commentary than it is an explanation of what all the different symbols are and what they mean. I have also been, and I left it in the other room, working with Susie Chang and M.M. Maline's book, Tarot Deciphered. That one also sometimes feels a little heady, but it compares Rider-Waite-Smith and Thoth. And I've also started dipping back into their podcast, Fortune's Wheelhouse, which has been really, really fun. But I would say if I were to pick, and I've also ordered, I have on here also the Book of Thoth, which I've been referencing a little bit, but like Crowley's hard to read, y'all. And I also ordered A Mirror of the Soul, which is another Thoth book. So I'll report back later on that. But of the things I've explored so far with regard to Thoth, the most readable and most fun and most exciting has been the Marcus Katz Secrets of the Thoth Tarot books. And I'm really, 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 really enjoying them. There's a lot of really cool aha moments. There's a lot of really cool takeaways. Like, I feel like there's kind of like an Easter egg almost feeling to it. Like, it feels like he's like pointing out things that I would have never seen or noticed on my own. And things that I haven't seen really repeated in the other books. But the things that seem to have left me with the most excitement to work with Thoth have come from Marcus Katz books. So I really wanted to shout that out. And I'm really loving my Kindle in general. My fiction book I'm reading is on Kindle right now. And I showed you guys this last month, I think, right? But Peggy's single pocket wrap pouch is a perfect Kindle or Kobo sleeve. Mine's a paperwhite and it just fits perfectly and I love it. It's a lot of books. There's a lot of books in February, you guys, but the Thoth thing has been, I've been having a complete love affair, which brings us to decks. So we're going to start with, of course, the Thoth Tarot. I have it in the perfect special bag. It is one of Peggy's single pocket wrap bags. It's been perfect. It's like all I want for the Thoth. But it's in my unicorn bag that says I believe in magic, or it says just believe in magic on the back. I love it so much. And then this side has all these stars. It is the exact perfect size with like room to spare, but it's the exact perfect size pretty much for the Thoth, large Thoth. Now, I should have mentioned this deck, and I forgot, completely forgot, in my confessions video of decks that I anti-hauled and then ended up with anyways, because I definitely anti-hauled the original Thoth. I definitely talked about this in a Thoth video, or sorry, in an anti-haul video. What am I even saying? I thought it was ugly, not gonna lie. But I've been using it as my primary deck all through February, and I'm not even a little bit bored yet. I'm getting so much out of it. I'm doing single card daily draws because I tried my 3-card draw with this deck and I didn't like it. I wanted to just distill down to a single card and really study that card every single day, which I was not expecting. And normally single card draws, y'all, bore the crap out of me. They just bore me. I don't feel like I get anything out of them. But with the Thoth Tarot, I get so much. And I have to admit, this artwork has grown on me in a way that I never, ever would have anticipated. I actually, like, big time. I don't know what it was that turned me off about this deck originally anymore. I don't even know. Even the freaking penis in the, I don't know how to say it, in the devil card. Hold on, we're going to talk about it. I was like, no, I don't need that in my life. But oh my gosh, this star card. This star card has blown my mind in so many ways. I have so many feelings about this, and I totally feel like I'm bandwagoning because I know there's a bunch of people like, we're all just like getting into Thoth now. But I've been wanting to study it for a long time. I love this Page of Cups. I love what Princess of Cups. I love what she's taught me. I think that's what's exciting me is I feel like just like when I studied the Marseille Tarot, oh my gosh, the 7 of Swords. It looks like nothing. Like it looks like pips when you look at it from a distance. And then you look at it up close and you read about it and you realize each one of these swords that are opposing the primary sword is a planet. And each one of those planets represents a thing. And it's the keyword futility makes so much sense when you start learning about it. And it just, oh my gosh, you guys. I am like, literally, I am geeking out. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Here's our penis devil card. I even like this card. I thought I hated that card. I don't even know. I don't even know. Who am I? I don't know. I don't know who I am. But I will say, much like when I studied the Marseille, I'll eventually get this out. I find that it adds layers. And I love layers with tarot. I love learning new ways to look at the cards. And the Thoth Tarot and the Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot are both based on the same occult magical system. They're both based on the Golden Dawn. And there's more similarities than you might think. But there's also a lot of differences, but the differences make sense and it doesn't feel dissonant. I don't use this and think this doesn't match up at all with what I know about the Rider-Waite-Smith. I love it. I'm really, really loving it. And I don't know where that's taking me, but I'm having a lot of fun. It's not like this is going to slide in and be like my replacement for all decks forever, but it's really expanded my tarot knowledge, and it's really expanding my sort of tarot world. Like the Lust card for strength. Oh, there's something about it. And I think it's because I really chalked it up to kind of like this esoteric kind of pippish deck. And it's not that it's not esoteric, it definitely is, but so is the Rider-Waite-Smith. It's just that the Rider-Waite-Smith kind of tucks it in the corner a little bit, like it's all there, but it's just less in your face. Whereas with Crowley's deck, it's kind of like he's just like, oh, you want your symbolism? Oh, here you go. Let me just give it to you. And I love that. And I love the artwork. Frida Harris's artwork has really grown on me, and it's just been a really satisfying thing. And so I'm still working with it. This has still been my primary deck. It's going to continue to be my primary deck for a while, for myself, for my daily draws, for my personal practice, because I'm getting so much out of it. And I have actually ordered this is the large one. I have also ordered a copy of the small one. It's pretty exciting. I gotta admit, I'm really having a nice time. Okay. Other decks though, because that wasn't the only deck I played with, or the only deck I have news about in February. So, oops. Let me bring my basket over. Okay. So first of all, I played with some other decks. Specifically, I played with some extra decks during live readings for Unicorn Fan members, which we do once a month. The Affirmators Tarot, I played with this during live readings, and it was actually really fun. I had a really great experience with it. This deck is one that I wasn't sure was going to be staying in my collection. This deck is also another one that I think is really easy to underestimate, and I realize how bizarre it is to go from me talking about like the Thoth Tarot, then talking about this silly Affirmators Tarot, but this is actually really great. And at first glance, it looks like a pip deck, right? But then you look closer and you realize, so here's the Eight of Pentacles, and we have this creature here who's obviously studying and getting better at this martial art thing. So he's still perfecting a craft. Or this Five of Pentacles, the sad koala, whose pocket is empty. So it looks a little pippish, and then again, you look a little closer. Here we have a bunch of dragonflies, but then you look closer, they're fighting with sticks. Very Rider-Waite-Smith, really cute. The guidebook is adorable. It's a great little deck, and this is a mass market. It's like that, like linen finish, kind of that. I don't know how to describe it. It shuffles well. It holds up well. It's a nice quality deck, and it's a lot of fun to work with. So I played with that during Unicorn Fam member readings, and I also played quite a bit. I ended up doing quite a lot of work in that same video with the Shimmering Veil Tarot. You guys, this deck pulls no punches, or I pull no punches when I work with this deck. However you want to look at it, this is a gorgeous deck, and it has so much depth to it, which I love. I do find that the energy or the vibe of a deck really affects how I approach it as a reader. And it's so funny because I'm already looking at this deck through slightly different eyes since starting to study the Thoth, because I feel like I can see some of the Thoth in this deck. I don't think this is a Thoth-based deck, that's not what I'm saying, but I definitely feel like those layers are already starting to intermingle in a really cool way. But I really enjoyed doing readings with this deck. It really felt like it just helped me intuitively to just connect to the message that was most needed to be given in that moment. And I felt like my readings were really effective. They felt really on point, and I had a really good time. They were pretty hard hitting, I feel like, but it was good. It was really good. And this was such a great purchase for me, so I'm so excited that I brought that in, and it was a lot of fun to work with. I also, during the Unicorn Fam member readings, pulled out my White Sage Tarot, which I mentioned in my Mass Market Madness video. This is such a great deck. I'm just going to say that about all of them. They're all great decks. But this is lovely. It's a little deck that comes in a tin. I just showed the tin already. But this one is a little bit pippish, but in a way where it's really intentional. There's a lot of animals in this deck too. It's really intentional. So you have these ribbons that represent the chakras. I talk a lot more about it in my Mass Market Madness, but also the pips here are placed in a way to be reminiscent of the actual Rider-Waite-Smith scene or meaning of the card. So it's there if you look for it. It's not like just a random arrangement of pips on the card. There's a system there, and there is an intentionality to the way that the pips are placed. If you wanted a deck that's going to help you bridge into pip decks, decks like this are great to experiment with. to get away from some of the people and the clutter on a more scenic card and experiment with more numerological based readings. But it's also kind of does still hint, like here's the Five of Pentacles. Oops. It does still hint at the Rider-Waite-Smith meaning, if you look for it. So this is a great little deck. I always like having a pip deck or a pip-ish deck handy when I do client readings, because I'm often called to reach for those for questions where I want a more neutral outlook. I don't know how else to say it, but I'll tend to reach for pip decks more for like money and finance and business type questions. Things that feel very grounded and practical, I have a tendency to reach for pip decks more, which is really interesting, but that's definitely something that I do. Oh. Okay. Other fun things. So I bought three of the decks here I actually bought in February, but 2 of them are thanks to you guys. Well, one especially. So I was lamenting about the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle and how I really wanted the matte version of it. And thanks to a whole bunch of comments, I tried again. And I finally, when I ordered it on Amazon, got the matte version. And it is the 2020 printing. So that means that everything that Blue Angel has printed 2020 and forward for the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle is in this new matte cardstock. So it's just, as long as wherever you're buying it from doesn't have any of the old stock left, you'll get this one. So it is a bit of a gamble no matter what, because the ISBN number is the same. If you're buying it in person, you can just check the box. On the outside, it'll say 2020 printing. That's what you want. Or later, I'm assuming. But it is matte and it is beautiful, and I've already used it in client readings a few times this month, and it is perfect. I use this one, the Hero's Journey Dream Oracle. I use it in client readings a lot for my past life readings specifically. It's one that just slots in beautifully into that particular reading. I'm so happy to have it matte. There's less glare. I love the cardstock. It's beautiful. And then I decided to take a chance on another Blue Angel deck that I've had and loved for a long time. And it is the Unicorn, the Oracle of the Unicorns. I am so excited to have this in a matte cardstock. Oh my gosh. I love this deck. It is the only Unicorn Oracle deck I have. I love the key phrases. I love the artwork. It's collab. Like this is art by a number of different artists. But I'm so excited. I mentioned in my stories when I got these in, because I have stories on YouTube now. Woo! Having too much fun with those. But yeah, this is just beautiful. I love it. I will definitely be reaching for it more often now that I have it in matte, so that's exciting. And then 2 other decks came in. The first of these, I have to be careful how I show this one, is the Erotic Tarot Intimate Intuition. This is what the backings look like. I'm going to show a few cards. They're a little racy, but there's no, nothing too bad. I don't think I'll show anything too graphic or anything. There's not a whole lot of graphic actually in the deck, but it's explicit but not graphic, if that makes sense. But this is such a great sexy deck. I actually pulled this out on Valentine's Day. It came in and we had a live stream. It's an 18 and only live stream so that I could show all the cards and we could have conversation about all the cards. But you can find that live stream on the channel if you go back. It was me and Peggy. It was live. But I love this. It is a pip deck, but it is so well done. There is a lot of, I'm trying to find cards I can show you. Here's our Knight of Roses. The roses are the pentacles. So roses are pentacles. You can tell that by the green backing. But it's really like body affirming and gender like mixed up and diverse and fun. Little racy, but nothing too obnoxious happening there. But I really am really excited about this. I played with it a little bit. For now it's living in a really cute bag that used to have a different deck in it. We'll see. But right now this is the sexy deck that I'm the most excited about in life. Love it. And the last thing that came in that I want to talk about is I did a trade for, I don't know if you guys remember me talking about the Voyager Tarot. So this is the mass market Voyager. A few quibbles about the mass market version of this deck that you can currently buy. These borders are this like really ugly, like pukey yellow-green color that I'm not fond of. And the cards that I received were cut a little unevenly, but I did have some really good experiences with this deck. So this is the version that I had. But I did a trade with a friend for the printing that was done in, oh gosh, 1984? Nope, 1994, the 11th printing of this deck, which came in a box like this, has like a slide out drawer and a booklet in there. The cards are bigger. They're cut evenly, thank goodness. I'll just show you the difference. And the borders are not, they're different colors. So here is what the current version is that you can get, what it looks like. And then here is the 1984 printing. So you can see it's quite a bit bigger. So it's wider and it's taller. And the borders are creamier. They're like more like a French vanilla color than that icky kind of yellow-green color. But because this artwork is so busy, the bigger card gives you more real estate for the art. It's not like a humongous difference, but it's enough, and I'm excited. So this deck came in to replace my my newer copy. So this is the out of print version, but I mean it's a relatively minor difference, I would say. The cardstock and the backings are still feels basically the same. There's a little bit of a color difference, and there's a little bit of a color difference through the cards as well. They're just slightly, ever so slightly less saturated is probably the right word. They're ever so slightly less saturated. But other than that, they are identical. They're a lot easier for my eyes to look at, which is what I really cared about. And along with that, she also sent me the chunkier book, which is sold separately, called Voyager Tarot Way of the Great Oracle. So this is the really big, like, chunky guidebook for this deck. So I will be digging into that at some point. It's not high on my list because I'm right into Thoth right now, but that is a fun thing that came in. And that, my friends, is everything that I have been playing with, or that came in, or that I'm excited about, or whatever, that just stuff I wanted to babble about from February. If you are ever interested, by the way, in any of the bags and things that you see on my channel, my lovely wife Peggy makes those. She has an Etsy shop. It's always linked in the description box. But she did actually just put up a bunch of new standard size divided bags. So that's the regular size for like indie decks and oracle decks. That's this size bag, but it's got a little cotton divider inside. So if you want to put your book on one side and your cards on the other, or like a crystal on one side and your cards on the other, or whatever you want to do, a couple of smaller decks together, but slightly separated. She just put a new batch of those up, as well as some reading cloths and some other goodies. So check her shop out if you want to shop for any Peggy bags. That is always available for you. She puts up new stuff, usually about once a week, usually on Thursdays. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm always happy to show you beautiful things. It's so much fun. It literally feels exactly like show and tell when I was a kid feels. It's like I get to just tell you guys all the stuff I've been using and enjoying and loving and having fun with. And I just appreciate having a space where I can do that because it's so fun. Anyway, thank you so much for hanging out with me. As always, if you enjoyed this video or if it brought any value to you, click the like button. It really helps my channel. Don't forget to subscribe and click the little bell so you're notified of my future videos. Thank you all so much, and may your magic always shine from the inside out. Bye guys! Y'all, I just realized I did that entire thing without my usual mic setup. So apologies for the not awesome audio quality. It'll be fixed in my next video. Bye!